Hey everybody, Tim here with a brand new show coming at you. Titans, Season 1, Episode 1, Titans. Not the greatest pilot title, but still, it is what it is. So when the trailer for this show first started, I was completely against it, 100%. I'll admit it. Like, I love to admit when I'm wrong. And so, like, the trailer just didn't do it for me. It was really poorly made. Like, we see the scene where the guy gets, like, his neck cracked, and Robin is like, fuck Batman! And just everything about that trailer turned me off. Like, I was super against it. The first season came out, and I was like, I'm still going to watch it just to kind of see what it's about. I'm a huge DC fan. I mean, I've got the DC tattoos, I got the Joker, I got Harley Quinn, I got other stuff going on. And it was better than I thought it would be because I had such low expectations. It could only come up from there. I thought there could still be some room for improvement, but we'll get to that point. Season 2 just started, so I'm going to try to blitz through this whole first season as quickly as I can. I think there's like 10 or 11 episodes, so knowing me, I should be able to do it really quick. So, starting with this first episode, it's actually really good. Like, it's pretty decent for a first episode, for a pilot episode. Starting from the beginning, like, you guys kind of know the drill if you've seen my other videos, where it starts out with Rachel, Raven, dreaming of the fly-in Graysons, which is great. It's kind of freaky where she's like, Mom, make sure the door's locked, and her mom padlocks the door. It kind of reminded me of Carrie a little bit because her mom has like 15 padlocks on the door and it's just covered in crosses. So it's like, okay, clearly Raven's possessed by some sort of demon. Got it, moving on. Which, let me pause right there. Watching this, I tried to put everything I know aside. Anytime I try to watch some sort of like comic book movie or show or anything like that, I always try to think of it as an Elseworlds. This isn't the comic book. This isn't the storyline that everybody knows. This is going to be different. Forget about Teen Titans. Forget about Young Justice. Forget about all the comic books. Forget about everything. Just watch it for what it is. Sometimes that can be really, really difficult. I'm not going to lie. It can be really hard. I have yet to watch Gotham because it's so difficult for me to put that aside. I will get to it at some point. But for this one, it was a little bit easier. So from there, we go to Detroit, Michigan, which I thought was kind of weird that DC has always been where it's made up countries, it's made up cities. We got Gotham, we got Metropolis, we got Themyscira, we got all sorts of stuff like that. But yet they go really specific with a real city. It's Detroit, Michigan. Here we meet Detective Grayson, played by the amazing Brenton Thwaites. I love that name, by the way, Thwaites. Like, it's great. Like, it's exactly how it's spelled, too. Super adorable. Like, the cutest guy ever. And he's done a lot of really successful stuff. Like, whether it be Pirates of the Caribbean, The Giver, all sorts of stuff. He's a great actor. So, and perfect for the role of Dick Grayson. I thought he was great. There's kind of the little scene where he's, like, introduced to his new partner and like he just dismisses her and they're like, oh, don't worry about him, he's from Gotham. And she's like, well, shit, no wonder he likes to work alone. Like, what happened to his last partner? And they're like, he was gassed by the Joker or something. And you're like, boom, already we're getting those DC references like right off the bat. It's great. It's really enjoyable. We start to get those reflections of Raven right away where just the camera editing moves past her and you kind of see it for just a split second where like her eyes are dark and everything like that. Which, by the way, like as much as I thought it was interesting that they do all these filming techniques, the show is really dark. Not figuratively, but literally. It's very almost gray tone filming, which I don't like. Like that kind of took me out a little bit. Raven's not mother is killed right in front of us, and that's kind of the first, like, oh, this is really kind of a dark series. And it's kind of setting that up, which, like I said, I'm trying to separate this from everything I know, because already, clearly Dick is like in his 20s at least, and Raven's like 12. So already there's like some discontinuity from other DC stuff. And I'm like, no, don't think about that. Keep it separate. And I move on. Robin like sets up the retinal scan, and already I'm like, okay, what's going on here? This could be interesting. And then the little birdie is alone, and here comes the big, super brutal fight scene in the alleyway, which a lot of this was shown in those first trailers. Now, it's been at least a year since I saw the first trailer for Titans, and I swear to God, there was a scene in that trailer that turned me off where we see Robin, like, step on a guy's neck. But I didn't see it in this episode. Like, I didn't see it, and I was like, oh, it's missing. That's kind of weird. But the fight scene is brutal, but it's really well choreographed, where he's, like, doing all the fight scenes, and then, like, the power pole, for a DBZ reference, comes out, and it's great. And then everybody's like, where's Batman? And he's like, fuck Batman. And, like, once again, like, instantly I was taken out, like, oh, like, why is this super rated R? But it still kind of held its own. It's going with the flow of the series. And it worked for me. We get Robin in Detroit in the big news break. And then, of course, Rachel, she's just Rachel, ends up going and buying a bus ticket by herself, which I was like, who the fuck sells a bus ticket to a little girl? And she goes to Detroit. So you know these two are going to connect at some point. We see finally Dick and Rachel meet, and because she like runs away from this woman trying to help her, throws a brick at a cop car, and gets arrested. And she's like, you're the boy from the circus, because he's literally the man of her dreams. Like, I mean, there's no other way to say it. You get it. And so instantly Dick is like, okay, you're kind of freaky, but she ends up going away. This is where we kind of segue to Starfire. Now, when this series was first debuting, Starfire was a huge topic on just the way she looked, her wig, stuff like that. I was not sold on her. Like, I'm sure the actress was great, and I was fine with that, but the dress and the hair didn't kind of mesh with me. But she is really great in this show. She does a great job. She wakes up in a car crash, not knowing who she is, what's going on. She's outside of, like, Vienna, Austria, so, like, there's already some, like, what's going on, like, foreign country type stuff. She knows her name is Corey. She goes to her hotel where she's speaking German, and she has a man in her closet. Like, what the fuck's going on here? And he's clearly beat up and scared of her. When he, like, finally runs at her to attack her, we see that power. Her eyes glow, her hair glows, all sorts of stuff, and she stops him and blasts him backwards. And you're like, that's Starfire. Like, I know who that is now. We see Rachel. I'm going to keep calling her Raven, so I'm sorry, kind of bear with me. Because I'm going to I think of Robin, I think of Raven, I think of Starfire. I don't think of Dick, I don't think of Corey, I don't think of Rachel. I think of the characters. So kind of stick with me, I'm sorry about that. So we see Rachel get kidnapped by cops, and then she's like tied up, and this guy's about to kill her, and he's like, I'm sorry, we gotta close the doorway. And you're like, what is this? This is so crazy. And of course, Dick comes to the rescue and basically just mows everybody down and saves her. And she has the great line of, my mom said there were no such thing as monsters, and she was wrong. Okay, us watching this, read the Batman stories, we've read the DC comics, we've watched the DC shows, we know this. Trust me, we've seen worse than some guy with a knife, and that's kind of some foreshadow, like how deep and twisted is this gonna be? And then finally, kind of the cliffhanger of the first episode is this green tiger stealing Xbox games, and he runs out, and he's played by Ryan Potter. Clearly it's Beast Boy, we already know it. And Ryan Potter, he's great. From like Super Ninja, he was the voice of Hero in Big Hero 6, and it's great. Super adorable, super fucking cute. And I mean, like, he's had so many nudes leaked online that when he started transforming from the tiger into himself, I'm like, oh, they're gonna do full frontal right off the bat. They didn't. Hey, there's my dog. They didn't, and I was like, oh, okay. But still, it's amazing that Ryan Potter's in this. And he's so, like, into martial arts that I'm really kind of interested to see what they do with his character. Overall, I thought it was a really good pilot. I had such negative feelings towards all of the previews that it could only go up, and it surpassed what I thought it could be. I'm super excited to watch the rest of this first season. I'm going to try to blitz through this whole first season really quick so I can catch up with season 2. For those who have seen this one, what did you guys think? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing, and I will see you guys next time for Hawk and Dove.